I've been using the iPhone 17 Pro for a few months now, and well, really since it came out. And I wanted to come back with a proper long-term update because honestly, this phone has barely changed since day one. And that's actually a really good thing. A lot of my early impressions have held up almost exactly the way I hoped they would. And in some areas, the phone has aged even better than I expected. So if you've been on the fence about whether or not you want to upgrade, then hopefully this video will help you make your decision a little bit easier because I personally, if you need a new iPhone, would recommend that you get the iPhone 17, more specifically the 17 Pro. So let's start with durability because that was one of the biggest question marks early on. The shift to aluminum and the new ceramic shield definitely have people worried. At least the aluminum part, because I can assure you the ceramic shield is excellent. But Apple Store display units got pretty beat up early on, so a few months in, my experience has actually been very positive, so you don't have to worry about it. The display glass has been incredibly durable. I do not have any normal everyday scratches at all. No micro scratches, no pocket wear, nothing like that. There is one small blemish at the very top near the earpiece here. I don't even know how that got there. It's at the edge of the glass. Doesn't look like a traditional scratch, so I'm not totally sure what it is. You can really only see it at specific angles anyways. So I'm not counting that one, but the rest of it has been perfectly fine. I usually get bunch of deep scratches by now, and I see nothing. The rest of the phone has held up incredibly well, too. I did drop it once onto something that caused a very small chip here, but it didn't chip the paint, it just kind of dented in. It's really hard to see if you're not actually looking for it either, but day to day, held up really well. I still prefer using my phone caseless, but I will say if you want to protect it with something, just put on a normal case. This is an ARC case. I'll talk about it more in a second, but yeah, definitely recommend putting on a case, which most of you will out there, so you really shouldn't have any issues at all. Battery life has naturally dipped a bit compared to day one. It's not as strong, obviously. That's completely normal, but it's still very solid. With heavy use, I'm consistently getting through a full day, usually ending with 15% at most. So in a worst case scenario, you should have enough battery for all day on very heavy use. On lighter days, it has no problem at all. The battery health is still showing around 100%. The 17 Pro battery is not a monster like the iPhone 17 Pro Max, but it's been more reliable and predictable than I was expecting, and that matters to me more long term. Now, before we get into the rest of today's video, I do want to give you more information about today's sponsor, Gamesir. And a few weeks back at CES 2026, Gamesir unveiled a bunch of new products that heavily focused on one thing this year, giving players better control no matter where or how they game. First up, I loved the Pocket Taco, a pocket-sized Bluetooth controller designed specifically for vertical mobile gaming. It clips right onto your phone, gives you real tactile buttons instead of touch controls, and it's perfect for those retro games or quick sessions on the go. Super lightweight, easy to throw in the bag, and honestly, it just feels like the kind of controller you keep with you at all times, and you don't even have to think about it. Then there's the G8 Plus, which basically turns your phone into a full console-style handheld. It's MFI certified, works across iPhone, obviously, Android, and even other tablets, and it uses Hall effect sticks and triggers, so you're not dealing with drift over time. The grips feel great, the controls are customizable, and it's clearly aimed at people who want serious gaming performance on mobile. And for the more traditional setups, the G7 Pro is Gamesir's pro-level controller built for Xbox, PC, and Android. I need this for my Xbox ASAP. You get tri-mode connectivity, Hall effect sticks and triggers, customizable buttons, and a design that feels ready for competitive play. It's one of those controllers that just feels instantly familiar, but noticeably more precise. And beyond handheld and controllers, Gamesir is pushing hard into sim racing with Turbo Drive and Swift Drive, bringing wireless setups, advanced haptics, and force feedback into more compact and accessible racing gear. And for more information about everything Gamesir just announced, visit the link in the description down below. One of the biggest wins with the iPhone 17 Pro continues to be thermals. The new body design combined with the vapor chamber cooling has made a noticeable difference. Months later, this is still one of the coolest running iPhones that I have used in the last 5 years. It rarely gets more than just slightly warm, and that is, ever so slightly. And that's usually just after a quick charge sesh where I needed to get a lot of juice in very quickly so I could be on my way out. But compared to previous models, that would heat up super quick. Then the display would start to dim or throttle performance or worst case, both. That doesn't happen on this phone. So this feels like a major quality of life upgrade. The aluminum body also clearly helps here. And for me, the thermal benefits are absolutely worth the trade-off. Design-wise, I also still love it. I've been using the orange model most of the time, but I do have the silver, and I often look at that thinking that is the cleanest looking iPhone that we have, but I just really like the orange. I'm not a big fan of this glass part here. That orange shade is a little bit weird, but whatever. That said, I really do not think there is a bad color choice this year. I think the blue looks good. Silver's probably my one that I'd recommend for everybody, and the orange is just fun. Everything seems super premium though, so nothing to worry about there. Revisiting the durability concerns more broadly and just kind of recapping here, I think a lot of that was just overblown. Yes, aluminum is not as scratch resistant as titanium. Yes, store units got abused pretty quickly, but in real world use, especially if you use any kind of case at all, I think most people will be completely fine. If you plan to go fully caseless and care a lot about cosmetics, silver is probably the safest option still. Even if it's the cleanest looking, it doesn't show a lot of the scratches either. Otherwise, I wouldn't stress too much about it. Again, I have this ARC case on it. It's not sponsored by any means, but I wanted to try it. It's basically like a bumper case, legitimately just for the four corners. So it still gives you that caseless feel. Adds a little bit extra weight, which I don't necessarily love, but yeah, I mean, it provides protection and still gives you that caseless feeling. So check it out if you want to. The display continues to be one of the strongest parts of the 17 Pro. Ceramic Shield 2 has proven itself over this time. It's not just a first week fluke. I'm still very impressed by how scratch resistant it is. No keys, coins, tables. Anything has left a visible mark on it except for whatever that weird thing was, but glass is still glass. It still can break. If you're worried about it cracking from when you drop it, get a screen protector, but I only used a screen protector to just protect it from scratches because I hate seeing scratches, and I don't use one anymore, so yeah. And there's also an anti-reflective coating, and it's still pretty subtle. It helps a little, but it's not something I kind of actively notice on a day-to-day unless I pick up a phone that doesn't have it. The real display upgrade, though, is, having that 3000 nits of peak brightness outdoors and not having your phone dim because it's too bright, causing it to get too hot and causing your phone to then just throttle itself. So getting this display kind of rounded out with all of these upgrades over the last year has been fantastic. Performance has also been exactly what you would expect from a Pro iPhone. Honestly, all the iPhones perform well. The A19 Pro chip is fast, it's smooth, and completely invisible in daily use, which is kind of the point. Apps open up instantly, scrolling is fluid, and multitasking never feels constrained. I do not notice a massive leap over last year in raw speed or performance, but I think it's just combine this chip with the vapor chamber cooling system, the aluminum, all of that just leads to a very solid and consistent performing phone. Also, this is my first time going with a Pro model over the Pro Max. The size and weight balance is just so much better in my opinion. It feels solid and premium without being super unwieldy. One-handed use is so much more comfortable, and months later, I am more convinced that the standard Pro is the sweet spot in Apple's lineup. And if you've been on the fence like I have over the last few years, but I've always been a Pro Max guy, go with the Pro. Give it a shot. The battery life will be good enough. You'll be fine. That was my biggest concern, and I don't miss the big one at all, honestly. Now, camera-wise, the front-facing 18-megapixel sensor also remains one of my favorite upgrades. The auto-framing feature has been genuinely useful for group selfies and family photos. Just being able to get more people in the group is so much easier. It just works, and it removes a lot of the awkward guessing when you're lining up the shots. I'll give you a story real quick. Out in the snow, my wife gave me her phone, said, hey, take a selfie of all of us with a couple of people in here. It was hard. I had to reach my hand. I couldn't do it. I just gave her phone back, and I said, let me do mine. It worked perfectly. We got our picture. We got back in the car because we were freezing cold, and you're on your way, and you could take a fantastic group selfie without having to get people to move back or get closer and stretch your arms out. It just is a time saver, and I really like this feature. Now on the back, the triple 48 megapixel camera system continues to deliver. Still absolutely loving the 8x telephoto lens for long-range photos and videos. I don't really miss the 5x, honestly. I think 8 has been really good. I haven't really had an issue with that. But all of the sensors, all of the cameras are producing vibrant photos with great dynamic range. And again, I rarely feel like I don't have an optical range of cameras that I need. I think I have everything that I want. So for the most part, this camera system is going to be enough for just about everyone out there. And it just continues to be a really reliable camera system no matter what I throw at it. So a few months in, here's the honest takeaway. The iPhone 17 Pro has aged extremely well. It stayed cool, it stays fast, and it stays enjoyable to use every single day. The design still feels fresh. The display has obviously exceeded my expectations, and I really love it. Battery life has been dependable, solid, and the cameras continue to deliver. It's not a perfect phone. No phone is perfect, but it feels incredibly refined. And for me, this is one of the most balanced and complete Pro iPhones that Apple has made in a long time. And months later, I'm still happy using it as my daily driver. I'm not looking ahead at the 18. If you're looking at this thinking, oh, should I wait for the 18? Is there going to be better upgrades? I think this is the biggest overall upgrade so far that we're going to have for the next few years. There might be some things here and there, but if you need a phone now and you're like, I just want to get a 17, but I don't want to feel like I'm missing out, I think you'll love it. Personally, it's been fantastic. And yeah, let me know if you have one and how yours has been holding up over the last 3 to 4 months. Or if you're thinking about getting one, what's been your reservation? Has this video helped? Let me know in those comments down below. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.